Rovers pick up their first home win of the campaign as they beat Southampton, that's right. But what about the fans? Are they happy with the football? Or, of course, is there lots of work to do? We're going to take a look at that. Much more next. That's right, folks, back once again with another video. Today we take a look back at the Southampton victory. That's right, our first at Ewood Park this season. That's, of course, that's including the Cup and, of course, the League. That's right. But can Rovers now kick on from that? Well, we'll take a little look in just 1 second. If you're new, what are you in? Smash your subscribe. You want to subscribe for Blackburn Rovers, Championship, World Football. We're all here under one roof. That's right. Of course, I've got the lads here to talk all things Rovers. And today we're going to have a little chat about that Southampton game. Some folks, some of them were there. Some of them had to watch further afield, just like me, but we'll get their opinions in just 1 second. If you're new, subscribe, and of course, big shout out to the members and the patrons. Can we, dare I say it, ask for 30 likes on this little clip here, of course, of our chat earlier this week about the Southampton game? If you can, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Let's get some love on the channel. Let's put us back in the spotlight and get the algorithm working for you. Okay, joining me once again is the Rovers Mafioso, fresh off the back of our first home win of the campaign, and both of these guys were there. That's right. Let's start with John T. Let's bring him on in here. Of course, you were at Ewood Park watching Rovers beat Southampton, our first home win of the campaign. I had a quick look online at some of the third parties' opinions saying that Rovers bossed this game. Was that the case, or was it a bit more 50-50?
For me personally, I think this was our worst home performance, and yet we got a win. I've seen us play much better and lose, so I guess it's the old quandary of what would you prefer to do? Prefer to see good football, but we don't get the results, or play. In my opinion, I didn't think we played that well on Saturday, but we got what we needed, which was the all-important 3 points. So I'm quietly happy. I think there's been a lot of noise around the Sheffield United game, and I understand why, because if you look at the two teams, we're pretty parallel going into the game. But that for me was a false economy. What you've got to do is you've got to remember, under Chris Wilder, Sheffield United are a force to be reckoned with, and I'm pretty convinced to say that if Chris Wilder had been there since the start of the season, they will be up into probably the playoff places. There'll be a real force in that league. So, unlike a lot of Blackburn Rovers fans, unlike a lot of my friends, I was sceptical about that game. I honestly thought that we might struggle in that game, and it was proven that we did. I mean, the result, in my opinion, flattered them. I think, to walk off that game 3-1, it sounds like we've had a real whooping, especially being 1-0 at half time. But honestly, the first half of that Sheffield United game, from where I was sat, I thought we played some brilliant football. We diffused anything that Sheffield United threw at us. And we just nullified them. They just didn't look a force. But then, obviously, in the half time, they've had a bit of a bollocking. They've then come out a bit more guns blazing, but I don't think they created that much up until the goal, to be fair. And if you look at the goals, the game, in my opinion, in my small mind, went that we were 1-0 up. They came out fired up a little bit more than us. They got the break, they got the goal, and then Rovers were pushing for 2-1, thinking, "Hang on, we've been the better team for the first half. Let's just replicate what we did in the first half." But then, as we push forward, we're always going to be exposed under Val. It's his style. We're 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 yards further up the field. You'll notice when we go up on the attack, we've got more men in the box, so we're a little bit more exposed at the back. And Sheffield United do what they're good at doing, which is hitting us on the break. And I suppose that's a caveat for any of Big Val's teams to do that. But long answer to short question: how did we do on Saturday? I think that was our worst home performance, but we got the 3 points. So it's that quandary, that conundrum as to what would you prefer. I think I'd prefer to watch. I wouldn't say rubbish football. It wasn't rubbish. It's just not as good as the heights that we can expect from these guys. But we got 3 points, so yeah, I'd take the 3 points all day long.
Thoughts on Jacob? You're also there. Jonty says worst performance. Are you on that side of the spectrum, or do you see things differently?
No, I don't think it was a great performance by any means. I thought Ryan Albiasu in particular. He goes and gets the first goal, but I thought it was his worst game in a Rovers shirt before that. It was a brilliant cross for the goal. Obviously, he puts it in the danger area where, obviously if someone gets a flick on it, it goes in. So the keeper couldn't exactly come for it, and obviously nestles in the bottom corner. But yeah, not a great performance by any means. But in my opinion, I don't think we've played that well, kind of overall anyway this season. I'm still struggling to see what Val's style of football is. Under John Dahl, you knew it was kind of more the tiki taka football and whatnot. Eustace was obviously route one, long ball stuff. I'm still not seeing an identity with this team. One result doesn't change everything by any means. Hopefully, it can be a catalyst to kick on. But yeah, for me, the Sheffield United was obviously a big loss, and I'm probably a bit more critical of the lads than maybe Jonty is. I just had a quick look while Jonty were talking there. Since Wilder's come in, I think he's got 4 losses and 3 wins, which is obviously better than they were doing before he come in. But he's by no means kind of completely changed them into this winning team. I think they won't get relegated by any means. I think they'll obviously we've gone above them now after that win because they threw it away at Dumpdale the other day. But yeah, I think they'll be mid-table. To be honest, I'm not sure they will actually kick on to the playoffs. I think weird scenario with him going and then getting reinstated so quickly, but. Yeah, I mean, not a great performance, but we got the 3 points. I'm glad Good Johnson's off the mark. He desperately needed that after fluffing his lines a couple of times with some bad sitters and kind of the fans around me all getting on his back and whatnot. So I assume that's going on all over at stadium. But the passion he showed after scoring that goal and passion in the stands as well. I can't remember the last time a goal went in at home and there was limbs and there were people just like overjoyed with the fact that we'd actually managed to score 2 and obviously take the lead and was we looked fully in control I suppose after that to go on and win it. So yeah, it was a weird game in that regard, but a good win, and let's just hope now we can maybe scab a few points against Leicester and Bristol.
Yeah, they're the next ones on the horizon. Of course, congratulations, Holmesy, Bafana make it to the World Cup. Just want to say that.
Yeah,
Get that in there.
yeah, lots of celebration this side of the world. We
Yeah.
nearly threw it away. Had 3 points deducted for ridiculous administrative error. Then struggled to beat Zimbabwe. But yeah, first time we in the World Cup since we hosted it in 2010.
Yeah, I'm happy.
Wow.
I'm happy to see you guys there. That'd be great, and
Yeah,
we can add that to the channel a little bit. A bit of South Africa coverage. Anyway, you caught the game in your man cave there.
yeah.
What is your take on the performance? Of course, it has not been pretty viewing of late, but how's your take on the match?
Yeah, I mean, look, I've always said I've never seen a win I didn't like. Um, I don't mind scrappy football if we're fighting. I don't mind guys getting stuck in there. I'm not one of those who want to see champagne football every week. If I want to watch champagne football, I'll go watch Barcelona or Real Madrid or one of those teams. I watch Blackburn because I want them to win football matches, and they need to do that by any means possible. So if it's going to be a scrap and they're going to get involved and they're going to, it's nice to see a bit of luck running our way for a change. Balls falling at the feet, for the second goal there for Good Johnson. Ball came straight back to him to put it away. I think the way our luck's been going over the last couple of matches, especially since that Leicester rain off, the ball hasn't really dropped for us. So it was nice to see something happening. That first goal was also, I suppose, the goalkeeper was unsighted, a bit of a lamish cross, if you ask me. Not a lot of power, but it seemed to be catch exactly the right angle to blindside the keeper and sneak in there under it. So nice to see some luck going our way, I suppose. But also, you could see the guys wanted it. You could see that they were pushing. They had some fight in them, which I think we have accused the players of not having in the past. So that was good, and I think it's hopefully a catalyst moving forward. Of course, we got that dreaded Leicester game that we should have had the 3 points in the bag, but so be it. We've got to go back out there and win it again.
Ipswich, yeah.
Sorry, Ipswich. Sorry, not this. Ipswich.
Leicester on the brain. We got Leicester on the brain. We've also got Denver in the house. Let's get everybody on here. It is a full house. We're all here, all looking good. And of course, did you get to the match this weekend, Denver? But what? You didn't?
I had a game, so I was in Wigan. I had a game in Wigan, of all places. So I remember being always torn when I have a game on the weekend. Either I'm playing or I'm like, I want to watch the Rovers, or I always pick and choose. Anyway, I went and played, and we won. And then I look at my phone and see the 1-0 down. I'm like, here we go. Here's the story. And as I was driving back home, just seeing us go 1-1 and 2-1, and then of course listened to my dad who was at the game, and sounded like a familiar story. But unfortunately, this time we found the goals. But I wasn't. That's a long way of saying no. I wasn't at the game, Dirk.
Wow, it's fine. There's another one just around the corner. Of course, it's actually back-to-back away games now, with of course Leicester and Bristol City mentioned. But I think we, when you look at the Southampton game, of course, a team that was in the Premier League last season, it's hopefully going to be fuel for fire, fuel for confidence for the lads. The performances were good in some areas. I've got some XG graphics later on in this presentation. I'm not too sure we'll get to those. But, it does show that we are creating chances. We're just not putting that final ball in the back of the net. But a massive confidence boosting win at the right time. I had humongous doubts that we would get any points over the course of these stretcher games to the next international break. But I feel more confident moving into Leicester and Bristol City. They're not going to be easy. We've never had I can't remember the last time we actually won at Bristol City. But I think Leicester are there for the taking.
We've got a decent record against the relegated sides if you're counting the Ipswich result.
Appreciate that, lads. I appreciate you guys, of course. Don't forget to smash that like and subscribe, boys and girls. 30 likes was the ask. Can you do it? That'd be absolutely fantastic. But, of course, if you are still interested with Blackburn Rovers, of course, it's been a struggle season. Just smash your comments down below. I want to hear from you, your thoughts and opinions about the Southampton game and, of course, the season as a whole. But don't forget to subscribe on your way out and smash that like as well. 30 likes if you can. Absolutely fantastic. I'll see you soon when we return. But until then, we're done.